Presenting the Handwave Automata Machine 3002 version 5. The best wave you can get. You want a fake handshake like this real handshake right there? Of course you don't. You want a real handshake from the best wave you can get from this Automata version 3005. Yep. This is our useless machine project. The requirements that we were given from our other group was to press a button and make sure it waits for 10 seconds, that it's relatively compact, and that you'll be able to tell it's waving. The questions asked that we asked was whether the final design met the idea of compact, and they said it did. We didn't have any other questions because there was little questions needed to be asked.
For the needs of the design that we had to meet, the design had to be small, it had to wave for 10 seconds at least, it had to be button activated, and they had to be able to tell that it was waving. In order to quantify these needs, we put them into a table for technical requirements and target values. In order to indicate that it is touch activated, we decided to aim for one push to activate. And for compactness, we decided that 5 inches tall was a reasonable value for size to shoot for, to be small enough. And to be able to tell that it was waving, we decided to test whether or not people thought that it was waving.
Alright, so when we were initially designing our robot, we started by making a functional block diagram. And so we decided that we needed a Raspberry Pi, we needed a touch sensor, we needed a movement system, and a hand. And we had two inputs, which was a physical input, which is pushing the button, and electricity. And then our output was a waving motion of the hand. Throughout our design process, we had a couple alternatives. One of the things we had to consider was how we were going to make our hand, and one way we did that was with a gear and these straight pieces, and ultimately we decided it didn't look very good and it wasn't very functional. Another thing we considered was building a case around the motor to conceal it, but due to the pieces that we had, we determined that that wasn't a viable solution.
For the final design we decided on, we chose it because it was lightweight, compact, and efficient. We ended up, instead of fully encasing the design, going with those little legs that hold it up. Instead of that hideous gear-looking hand, we had a nice hand looking there that even has multifunctioning fingers, so it could do different hand signals or hand signs. We also purposefully used little materials to save on costs if this design were to be put into the real world, and to make it much more lightweight. We also, due to the design of the arm itself, were able to make it look like it was waving from the elbow, instead of just some stick with a hand on it that was waving. And then here we have a video of it demonstrating.
That's a feature.
While it does run into the ground a little bit, we decided that is not a problem but a feature, as one can then use that to do things like hammer in nails autonomously. For the evidence that we met the engineering specifications for touch activated, it does operate with a single push of the button, so we met the target value of that requirement. For compact, the machine was approximately 4 inches tall, and the team that requested this design did agree with us that it was fairly compact, so we met that target value. And to be able to tell that it was waving, everyone in our group and the requesting group agreed that the machine was clearly waving. So from this relatively small sample size, we have determined that we met the target value for that as well. Thank you for watching, and we hope that you like our hand waving machine. It's the best wave you can get.